Hi there, this video will explain what I expect for Essay 2, the close reading. For Essay 2, in an essay of no less than 600 and no more than 1,000 words, you will create a close reading where you answer one of the prompts below using the two articles that you've already read by Eric Schlosser and Alexandra Sifferlin. You can choose either of these two prompts, but do not do both of them. First, you can write about why Schlosser and Sifferlin wrote these articles. What motivation did they have? What were they trying to prove to you? What were they trying to say? And then once you know what they were trying to say, tell me what literary techniques they used to make their points. Did they use fear tactics? Did they use figurative language? Did they use metaphor, simile, onomatopoeia, any of those literary techniques you heard about all through high school? What do you see in these articles that they use to try to explain and try to make their point? The other option is to think about how each of these authors view obesity as a whole. What does Schlosser think about it? What does Sifferlin think about it? And then figure out, do you think that they agree or they disagree with each other? And then what evidence from the text proves that? Now, you may say they agree on this but disagree on that, and that's one way that you could approach this as well. But no matter what you say, you need to give some text evidence that shows what they think and how they might react to each other if they ever met and had a discussion. So, when you do these papers, you must include at least one direct quote from each of the two articles. You can use more than one, but you have to have at least one from each article. It needs to be properly formatted and cited, both in the text and in a works cited page that you'll put at the end of the paper. Remember that if you don't properly cite a source, you could be charged with plagiarism. Plagiarism information is in the Reference Documents and Videos tab if you need to review it again. Um, do not use quotes that are more than 4 lines long. Do not include quotes from outside sources. This is a close examination of what is in these articles. Okay. Don't use quotes that are more than 4 lines long because you need to keep them short, as this is to prove your own point or give an example. This is not here to fill out your word count, and it's not here for you to just string together what they've already said. You're trying to analyze it and talk about it. For your formatting on this essay, you must use MLA style. You did that on the first essay, and you should do it again here. Those resources to help you accomplish that are still present if you need them. At the end of the paper, again, before your work cited, you're going to skip one line, include the words word count and the number of words in your paper. Just remember that if you exceed 1,000 words, then I will not continue reading and I will not grade anything that's beyond that 1,000 words. Peer review. For this paper, we will use a peer review process. More details on that are available in Blackboard, but basically, before you turn the paper in, you will turn in a rough draft to the EduFlow website, and then you will also review the rough draft of another classmate. If you do not participate in this process, you will lose 10 points from your grade on this assignment. Some tips to make sure that you make the best grade possible on this assignment are that you should first of all give your paper an interesting title. Don't just call it Essay 2 or Close Reading, and please don't call it F as in Fat. Technically, that's plagiarism because that's right out of one of the stories, and it's the title of a different report. Remember, it should be something that has something to do with what you're writing about, and it should grab your reader's attention. What would make them want to pick this paper out of a table of contents? Remember to write your paper as if the reader has no idea what your prompt was and without focusing on yourself. So, a couple of points here. You're going to write your paper as if I don't know. Don't begin your paper by saying these two articles. What two articles? If I just picked up this paper from somewhere and started reading it because I was interested in the topic, and you said something about these two articles and I had no idea what you were talking about, I'd be lost. You have to treat the paper as if I have no clue, as if you just decided to write about this one day. And don't focus on yourself. This one is about obesity and fast food, but it's not about you or your opinion of obesity or your experience with fast food. This is not about how you feel or how you think or your personal success or your personal struggle. Your goal here is to look at what each of those authors have done in their work, and you're evaluating and analyzing what they've done just as much as what they've said. Please be very careful with names in this paper. Please know that Schlosser is male and Sifferlin is female. So if you have any point where you're referring to he or she, you need to use the appropriate pronoun. Do be aware that autocorrect, especially on iPads, likes to take Sifferlin and make it suffering. So be careful with that. Her name is Sifferlin. Also, remember that when we refer to authors in our paper, we do not use honorifics. It's not Mr. Schlosser or Miss Sifferlin. And we don't call them by their first names. It's not Eric or Alexandra. The only time we mention the author's first name is the first time we talk about the author. So while you may say in his article, Fast Food Nation, New York Times reporter Eric Schlosser states that blah, blah, blah. And then as you go on further in the paper, you'll say Schlosser also believes, or Schlosser also points out. So you need to make sure that you say something about who they are, why they're important, why we should listen to them, and you only use their first name the first time. Okay. Finally, the paper must be submitted through the Turnitin link that's located in the Submit Assignments tab. And if you have any questions, as always, just let me know and I'll be happy to help.